What's up, plant lovers? Devin is here, and welcome to another installment of Houseplant Essentials, where I give the basic care for some of our most popular houseplants. And today, of course, we're going to be talking about philodendron. Now, philodendron is probably my favorite tropical houseplant genus. It is a member of the aroid family, the Araceae family, and they come from Central and South America primarily. Now, there's literally hundreds of different kinds of philodendron out there, and in this video, I'm going to instill some of the most essential care points that will pretty much be applicable to all different types of philodendron. Essentially, there's two main categories of philodendron. The first category would be vining plants, either plants that will climb up or sort of trail down, depending on what sort of structure you're providing them. And the second type would be upright terrestrial types of philodendron that pretty much just retain their stature without any support. They're not going to climb, they're not going to trail. And within those two categories, there's seriously so many beautiful different types of hybrids, of special cultivars, whether it's pink princess, Florida ghost, painted lady, you name it. There's a philodendron for every situation, for every home, and for every gardener. And of all the tropical houseplants, these tend to be some of the most robust, the easiest to care for. That's why I have like 12 different kinds of philodendron in my home. Now, as they are native to these jungly areas of Central and South America, they're typically found as an understory plant growing underneath the canopy of larger shrubs and trees. So that's going to give us our very first clue as to the correct lighting for these plants. So generally speaking, they're going to love a room with bright lighting. Indirect lighting is great. Eastern or western facing windows are perfect. If you're here in the northern hemisphere, if you place them in a southern facing window with exceptional lighting, they will definitely enjoy that and they will grow a little bit more quickly. But if you have an east or western facing window, that's typically sufficient. Now, if you're growing any sort of hybrid that has unique variegation, providing them with extra additional lighting is going to be essential to retain the best variegation possible. If they're not given enough lighting, oftentimes that variegation will start to decrease and it may lose its variegation altogether. So if you don't have enough lighting, providing them with a single LED grow light bulb will be fantastic. You can check my description for some links to some awesome indoor grow lights that I like to use for my plants. Now, the next thing we want to consider is the correct soil substrate mix. Typically, a nice house plant bagged potting mix is great. I'll often use the Miracle Grow one because it has a really nice combination. Some of the more generic house plant bagged potting mixes can be a little bit too dense. So if you purchase one and it seems too dense, not fluffy enough, you can absolutely add some additional things such as orchid bark, perlite, sphagnum moss, create a nice fluffy growing matter for them to grow into. If you have like one or two or maybe three philodendrons, buying that bagged mix is fine. But if you have, 10 or 12 like I do, creating your own houseplant blend is really the best way to go. I have an awesome video, easy to follow video, 5 ingredients to create the best blend for all of your tropical houseplants. You can check that video link right there if you are interested in making a nice blend. Now, I think the very most important thing when it comes to growing philodendrons is providing them the correct sized container. When these plants are young, you need to provide them with small pots. You can see this guy right here. It's absolutely filling out this pot. You can see I have it in a plastic container inside this ceramic pot. And that's exactly what they need. They need to be in small containers, particularly when they are young. If you put a small plant in a large pot with a lot of soil and they're just sort of swimming in that soil, they will never take off. So you need to provide them with a small container until they're really able to fill those pots out with their roots, and that's going to create expedited growth on the top. And then you can start to transplant them to slightly larger pots until you have them planted in sort of their ultimate sized container that you would like them to be in. Never plant them in too large of a container or your plant will just stagnate, all right? So that's really important to note. Now, in terms of watering, these plants are very easy going. I typically will water mine about once a week. The way that I will determine whether or not they need water is I will visually look at the soil. If it looks dry, then I will stick my finger in just to my first knuckle. And if that entire finger test is dry, then that means I can go ahead and give them water. And that's typically once every 7 to 10 days. I always tend to err on a little bit more dry than a little bit more wet, because too wet for too long, that'll definitely bring in our gnats. But definitely water them a little bit less in the wintertime, a little bit more in the summertime, depending on how warm your conditions are. But about once every 7 to 10 days is gonna be enough. Now, I will typically fertilize mine about once every 3 months, once a quarter, with my family's blend called Roberta's Bounty. It's an all-purpose fertilizer, perfect for your philodendrons, all of your other house plants, and even outdoor plants as well. You can find a link to this in the description below if you're interested. Now, a couple side notes. These plants tend to be pretty resilient, free of pests. While my anthurium tend to get spider mites pretty regularly, these guys really never do. The only pest that I will have once in a while would be scale, as I am fighting a little bit of a scale outbreak in my house, but these tend to be quite pest-free. They're very easy to propagate. Here you can see I have a propagation of my philodendron burl marks. And it's really a matter of just cutting off a piece of your stem with a node included in that piece of stem, putting it in water for a couple of months. And then once you have roots like this guy, you can go ahead and pot them up. It's very easy to propagate and really fun to do as well. And if you find that one of your plants might be just growing too slowly for your own desire, consider placing them outside during the summertime. As long as the nights are above 50 degrees, you can put them outdoors in a shady location or somewhere that gets like maybe 1 hour of morning light, and that's going to absolutely create very quick growth in your plant during those few summer months. So there's so many different beautiful foliage, variegation, different colors, different growing forms for plants for hanging baskets, plants that will creep and crawl, plants that look beautiful when given something to climb up. There absolutely is a philodendron for everyone. If you're looking for something unique, you can find tons from different purveyors online, but many times these days, if you go to a great local nursery, they'll have something unique and interesting that will definitely excite you and bring that gorgeous tropical jungle energy that's easy to maintain inside your home. And with this video, now you know everything that you need to know in order to keep those philodendron happy. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like, subscribing to our channel. We're bringing new plant-related content every single week. And we have a lot more of these houseplant essential videos as well, so go check them out. Anyways, thanks for joining me here on Plant Vibrations. I'll catch you soon. Ciao.